तो दोस्तों, welcome to the, I mean the new video of that tactical Tadka. I thought I would talk about the Barca game and the Atletico game as well, thoda bahut isme. And then when I first thought I'll create this video, since then a lot of things have happened. It was unexpected that Alonso would get fired, at least right now. It would happen eventually. And to be honest, in my opinion, it's the right decision in the moment because he's lost the dressing room, right? In my opinion, this situation was like the partner had already cheated and you were trying to fix the marriage. After the last Clasico, when Vinicius first did what he did, since then the trajectory has been downhill. Even though I think we competed really well in the Barca game, uh, I'm sad. I'm very sad for Alonso, seeing how some of the players treated him. That whole guard of honor thing. If a manager says anything, you have to listen. I'm sorry. These players have treated Alonso like he's some second-rate player. He's not. He's one of the best midfielders in Spanish history. He was part of the World Cup winning side and the two Euro winning side. He's won Champions League. I'm not really sure what these players think about themselves. They're not performing and they're acting as if they're the best players in the world. Maybe Mbappe and Courtois, but the rest of the players, I'm sorry, you're not good enough. You're just not good enough. And the board, in my opinion, has fucked up quite badly. I think, as far as I've, apart from like 5-10% who've had an agenda since the time that Alonso came, because if he gets successful, right, that changes a lot of things. That means that we can actually, play structured football and win. And mind you, we were winning. No matter what anyone tells you, we were winning. This was our best start to La Liga in quite a while. Courtois was a spectator. If you tell me that's not like a, a good benchmark to see that the team was improving, I'm sorry, you don't know football. Courtois had literally nothing to do in the first 5-10 games. Even in the Clasico, Courtois barely had anything to do. The one game we lost before the Clasico was the Atletico game, and you could see Alonso adapts after he lost. I mean, in the last derby in the Super Cup, he beat them. He doesn't have the team. He didn't have Mbappe. He didn't have a right back. He didn't have centre backs. He still beat them. Right? It wasn't pretty, but that was one of the. I mean, he's been criticized for everything. Right? He was criticized for trying to make players press and playing possession based football. He was criticized for not playing possession based football recently and trying to defend and try to win. He was criticized for every little thing that you could think of, right? And if we compare, people keep comparing to the UCL winning side of 2 years ago. I'm sorry, that's not the team that we are. There's no Cruz, there's there's no Nacho, there's no leaders in this team. This is not the same team. Okay, so the benchmark was last season, and we haven't signed anyone as such. We've signed Mastantuano and Dean Hoyinson, who are okay, not great right now, maybe for the future. But the only signing that we've had is Carreras, who was great. I agree, who was great. And the score last year was 5-2. Let's not forget that. And that was with Mbappe and a red card to Chesney. Okay, so the fact that we competed 3-2 and had more chances than Barcelona, more big chances than Barcelona, more shots on target. I mean, do I want Alonso to play that style? No. But that just shows that he can adapt, right? If he came out and we pressed against Barca, we would get absolutely decimated. These players are not up to the physical level required to play against them. No other player walks into the Barca side apart from maybe Jude for Fermin and Courtois for John Garcia, right? Uh, this is on form, right? Of course, Mbappe was injured, so I'm not counting him. So that's the level of the squad, and the board thinks the team is much better than what they are. They're not. This is a bunch of individuals who, on their day, are the best in their position. Vinicius Junior, I'm looking at you. but on average, consistently, they're bad. Rodrigo has been bad for most of the last 2 years. Vinicius bad, Kamavinga bad, Charmany bad, no consistency. Raul Asensio, Dean Hoyson, even Courtois has made mistakes. And then you fire the manager. I'm not that sad about the firing. I think it was supposed to happen, and I'm glad for Xabi that it happened when it did. I think he was fired. He didn't walk away, but I'm glad it happened because it was not gonna happen. The board had already lost confidence. I don't think Perez ever wanted Xabi. It seemed like he never supported Xabi. I think he wanted someone like Klopp or something, which I agree would have been a better choice at this point because Xavi did not have the experience to deal with these players. But I don't know which manager does, right? I don't know which manager has the experience to deal with these players who are backed by the board. Okay, and people keep saying, yeah, this is the reason we've been the most successful team. We get rid of the manager and we support the players. They're the best in their position. Bullshit. These are the supporters who've only watched the last 10 years. What about the 10 years before that, 12 years before that, where we did not win much between 2002 and 2014? Perez has always had this issue. He sold Redondo, he sold Makelele for Galacticos, completely destroyed the structure of the team for commercial success before. This is nothing new, right? I think why people are sad is because with Jabi, they finally thought, finally, we can change the culture at the team. It wasn't about changing just the tactical setup, it was about changing the culture. That the manager is going to take shots. But unfortunately, no. He has been undermined since the beginning. Pintus was rehired, his own medical staff was fired even if he didn't want that. The thing with the nutritionist, supporting Vinicius, Valverde, Camavinga over Alonso. And the fact is, the kind of things that have been coming out that players do not want to look at films. What do they want to do? Go on the field and play like they're playing Sunday League football? They're not. Okay? And I agree, man management at Real Madrid works better when the players are there and you have leaders and you have a balanced team. This has none of that. Okay? And again, I truly wish that Arbeloa succeeds. I truly wish that Arbeloa succeeds or any other manager who comes and succeeds. But Arbeloa is a carbon copy of Alonso. Like, you can read reports on managing Madrid or by one who watches Castilla. He's doing great. But at the same time, he's a carbon copy of Alonso's tactics. So he's not going to be able to implement them because the players already rejected those ideas, right? He comes in, he cannot change anything, right? Because the moment he does something that the players don't like, they're going to go and the board will support them. And in my opinion, even before the Albacete game, I predicted that Arbeloa will not last the season. We might end up seeing Solari at some point in this season. Arbeloa will not make it, in my opinion. Okay? Unless something drastic changes, which I don't see it. I don't see it. After the Albacete game, it just confirmed, right? He was just standing there. I'm very glad that he played some Castilla players. They are not to blame for the Albacete defeat. Sestero is not to blame. Jimenez is not to blame. You could see the issues, right? No one's passing to Sestero. That's the level of ego in that team. They were not passing to Gonzalo Garcia earlier until he started scoring, and they're not passing to Sestero. And it's no surprise that the two players who actually scored in the game were people that Alonso trusted, Mastantuano and Gonzalo Garcia. Right? I mean, it's no surprise. No surprise that Vinicius played bad. No surprise that Valverde played bad. No surprise that Camavinga was the one responsible for the last or the second last goal. I can't remember. Right? I'm not saying Alonso के साथ हम जीत जाते हैं, but I'm just saying this is the state of the players. You are telling me that these players, even with 3 academy players, go to Albacete, a struggling second division side, and lose? I mean, I don't have any words. Again, the board has become very lucky in a lot of instances in the past 10 years, and they've ridden that luck. For example, Zidane was not hired on a permanent basis. They bought in Rafa Benitez. Horrible choice, by the way. Horrible choice. The team was already set. You don't need to change anything. To be honest, that might have been the time that Ancelotti shouldn't have been fired, right? Even though he made, again, the same mistakes that he usually does, not rotating players, that leads to injuries, all those things, right? And you bring on Rafa Benitez to change how the team plays. Why? That team won 40 games or were unbeaten for 40 games or something in that last season. Why would you want to change that? And then you fire him and get Zidane. Temporary manager. He turns out to be a gem, and we win 3 Champions League in a row. Lucky. It's not long-term planning. This was not planned. If you're telling me that they hired Zidane and they thought that he's going to win them even 1 Champions League, I'm sorry. That wasn't what happened. Both got lucky. Both got lucky with Benzema having one of the best seasons ever so that they didn't have to replace Cristiano Ronaldo. Again, luck. Both got lucky that Joselu, Jude, Nacho, Cruz, these players stepped up and we won another Champions League somehow. And of course, I'm going to give Ancelotti his credit as well that he managed to do that with this team, but we were nowhere close to the best team in the world. We are nowhere close to competing with these teams on a regular basis. A lot of those comebacks relied on individual brilliance, and you can't replicate that always. I'm sorry, you just can't. It wasn't a consistent team which played with structure. So the board has gotten lucky and they're trying to ride this luck, and they think that they're in a situation as in what happened when Ancelotti got fired the first time. That we have a great team, you bring in a manager and he should immediately win. That's not the case. We are in the Manuel Pellegrini or Capello time where we don't have a balanced team and we're going to get hammered because the players are not good enough. So until you sign players and give it to a man manager like Ancelotti, who, by the way, there's no man manager as such left in this world, right? All the modern managers want to play their style, want to have more control. This is the same story as United. No manager is want to come to Real Madrid seeing what happened with Alonso. Klopp came out and said he is not coming. He literally just said that. He said that there are problems. There are problems with the club, and I'm sorry. I mean, if a manager who went unbeaten, who won the league against Bayern, couldn't succeed in last 6 months, there are deeper issues at the club, and 100%. And Klopp is your main target, mind you. I think Perez loves Klopp. He wants him here, no matter what you say. And he was my first choice as well instead of Xabi. And people don't realize I'm not supporting Xabi, right? He made some mistakes as well. His in-game management was a bit bad. There are other issues that were there, but we were winning. That's all I'll say. We were winning. We were getting there. Give him maybe another midfield signing, we would have been able to compete next year. We would have won trophies this year, by the way. We were leading in the league. So mind you, we won against Barca, a team that we did not beat last season, and we won comprehensively. And we almost beat them in the Super Cup again. When can you say this for an Ancelotti side that, or any side that except Zidane, where we've consistently competed with Barca? Was it pretty the way we played? No, but had Vinicius taken his chances, had Carrera scored, had Ceballos scored, I mean, it would have just delayed the inevitable. Alonso might not have been fired, but it would have happened at some point because the board was just waiting to do it. It was just this. And that's what happened. They got what they wanted, and now we are a laughing stock. I mean, I was waiting to see how the fans react in Levante. at the home game before the Albacete match, and now, I mean, the white handkerchiefs are going to come out, in my opinion. And I feel bad for Arbeloa as well. He he's not in an ideal position. He can literally change nothing in this team. He can't pick his players. He can't change tactics. He can just watch from the sidelines as the players just do what they want. What's the solution? I mean, sell Vinicius. I think it's done. No, even if he starts performing, it's enough sample size to know that Vinicius and Mbappe cannot play together. Sell him. Sell Valverde as well, in my opinion. He has not performed for a long time under any manager. The only place he does is right back or right wing, so unless he wants to play there, sell him as well. I mean, you have to sell these players. They have too much power in the team. Will that happen? Probably no. But any manager who needs to come in would need to get rid of these players. I'm not saying Mbappe just because we bought Mbappe recently, and Mbappe right now is better than Vinicius. Simple as that. Like, if you want to win games, trophies, you need Mbappe. But you can't have both Vinicius and Mbappe. I'm sorry. Anyway, that was a long rant. I'm gonna quickly talk about the tactical setup in the Clasico. So again, we'd start deep because we knew Barca is gonna press. We could not get out of their press, and if we had Trent, in my opinion, it would have been a perfect game. Trent would have allowed us to sort of escape their press, the same way we did in the first leg. Obviously, he wasn't there, but Jude did a lot of those work, and Jude was not good last match. Like, that's what I'm saying. They're not consistent anymore. And then we created the major chances. I mean, you say whatever you have. We created the major chances, and if we had held up defensively, like Dean was horrible again. No issues there. The fact that he set up Raul to sort of cover for Valverde when Valverde goes forward, that was working pretty well for majority of the game. Vinicius was shit at finishing. He scored a great goal, but that changes nothing in my mind. I'm sorry. He was shit otherwise. Like, he missed a chance in the first half. Gonzalo missed another chance in the first half. Vinny missed another chance in the second half. Again, now we can question the. I think Alonso couldn't have done anything better. Now you can question his in-game management, which we have for a while. I think Vinicius asked to be subbed off. That's what Alonso said afterwards. I don't think he would lie because he's taken off Vinicius for other reasons, and you know told the truth that it was for tactical reasons. So I don't think why he will lie. Valverde got injured, so the only options he has on the bench is Arda, Ceballos, Mastantuano. That's it, right? And Mbappe came on, but you could clearly see he's not fit. Had Carrera scored, we would have taken it to penalties, and who knows, we would have won. The second half, we were much better, right? Second half, they scored a lucky goal, but we were much better than them. Kamavinga was decent in the center, but Chamini, apart from the fact that he's intelligent and he moves, positions himself well, he is not consistent as on the ball. Like, he's just not consistent on the ball. What else is there to say? Gonzalo, I mean, you need to improve your passes. We saw it in the Albacete game as well. He's bad when he's passing the ball. But otherwise, he worked really hard, was man marking De Jong, scored the goal. But I just want to take a moment to compare. I mean, I'm gonna pick the best player, and it's gonna be a Barca player. Rafinha was was the best player on the pitch by far. Not Yamal, not Vinicius, not anyone else. Rafinha. That tackle on Vinicius in the box, that save on the corner. I'm not even talking about the two goals he scored. He was insane, and that's what you expect from our players. I feel bad. I hate Yamal for how he is. He's a brat. But at the same time, I wish our players hated Barca as much as Yamal hates Real Madrid or Rafinha hates Real Madrid. They don't. I mean, we just don't care. We think we've won everything and we are big names, and that's enough to win games. It's not. You're going to see that the moment we play a big team in the UCL, we're going to get absolutely smashed. 100%. The only way we survive is the way we played right now. Either you play with the tactical setup that Xabi was setting you up for, or we're gonna get smashed. Again, I'm not. I will support whoever comes, and I will wish for their success. Right? It's just my prediction, and I hope I'm wrong. I will always support Arbeloa. I love Xabi just because he's he's been such a gentleman. You have to say, he was probably not the right manager, uh, at least at this time. I think he could have gone to Liverpool and then come to us. It would have worked, probably better. But he's gonna. I know he's gonna go to Liverpool. I think Slot is eventually gonna get fired either in the mid season or at the end of the season. And Alonso's going to come in. He has the players that he had at Leverkusen. With Frimpong, he's a Liverpool legend. It's gonna. I have a feeling he's gonna lit the world on fire at Liverpool. Again, we'll just watch from the sidelines while our players, keep posting on social media, keep doing whatever they're doing. It looks a bit bleak to me. It looks bleaker than the 2019 season. That's what it is. Our board is not willing to spend money. Our board is willing to fire players, fire managers, and support the players. This is what we get, and I am not happy with the board at all. It's one thing that you say that you cannot buy players, but it's another that there was a manager you hired to bring change and you didn't let him work. Real Madrid's best player, I think, Carreras. I think he had a great game, kept Yamal completely in check, and had he scored, it would have been a complete performance. It's just so sad that he shot it straight at John Garcia. Again, I need to remind you that this Barca side is miles better than us, no matter how you want to see it. They are miles better. They've had Flick for a while, and Flick has the complete freedom to do whatever he wants. He benched Rashford because Rafinha is better. He plays Rafinha, even though Rashford might be a bigger name. As Scholes said, Rashford was playing at United like he was the boss. Now he's running around for throw-ins, right? So that's the difference. That's what happens when you take away the power from players. Players should never have the powers. People think that's the reason we are successful. That's not the reason. The reason we are successful is we had one of the best assembled teams in the world, and that was slightly lucky as well. Perez got rid of Di Maria when he was very important for us and got James. I'm surprised he let Casemiro play, right? I'm surprised Casemiro lasted that long because he has this habit of getting rid of CDMs. Alonso was a prime example that he allowed and finally understood that we need CDMs. Alonso, Kedira, right? Because they were big names. They won Champions League. They won. They were in the Spanish team, and I feel like if we had senior players, Spanish players in the team, Carvajal I don't count. He's not a leader. If we had senior Spanish players in the team, it would have been much better. They wouldn't have let these 2-3 groups within the team to disrespect Alonso. You could see all the Spanish players, Hoinson, Raul Asensio, Gonzalo Garcia, hurdling around Alonso, and then the others. I saw what Mbappe did, and I have to say that completely boiled my blood. That's not how you treat a club legend, let alone a manager. If he says something, you do it. He's the manager. You listen to him. I think that's enough for my rant. Let's see what happens. Thank you for listening. And let me know in the comments what you think.